are they the right people? Are these girls going up to Sandy and says, you know, it's here's a pose a question. Did Maya go up to the Tyler or Steve or a Sandy or even a Tim and say, hey, am I in the wrong class? Did an Ashley Jones go into a show and ask the judges, should I go into women's bodybuilding? You know, from what I understand, Andrea Shaw is the one who convinced Ashley to go into women's bodybuilding. You know, and like I told you everybody before, the one thing I love about Andrea is that she doesn't mind the competition. She wants better competition. She wants somebody to push her. You know, so when it boils down to that, it's these girls having to make a decision. If I'm not placing in women's physique, and you're right about one thing, George, is the problem is this crossover shit. It drives me crazy. It's great for promoters because like I got a client doing John's show, and this was for 2 or 3 categories, it's like $500, you know, and he's doing men's physique and men's classic physique, you know, which aren't too far off from each other. But
No.
again, when you got these promoters, when you do nationals, you do North Americans, I want to say like per class is like almost $300. So some of these girls are swimming in waters like Tina. She competed against when she was an amateur. She competed in girls who did women's physique and came over to women's bodybuilding, or excuse me, women's figure, came over to women's physique and beat her. And I'm like, how is that possible? You shouldn't be able to do both and win both. Some girls do. Some girls are winning both classes. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, so is that the competitor's fault or is that the judge's fault saying, okay, it's no way that if figure is this look and women's physique is this look, you should be able to win both classes. It's no way. That should never ever happen.
Yeah.
You know.
We got here my man KL the Wonder. He came through. Yeah, we also got
Hey, what's
Educate
up?
my brother here. Hey, brother.
What
How you
up?
doing?
Hey, how y'all
Yeah.
doing? How you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Good.
Yeah. So like I know I interviewed a lady, Amelia Balakova. She in 2022, she won both in women's bodybuilding and women's physique at the Miss International. Let me see if I can pull up her IG. And there's another lady who just last year um won both in women's bodybuilding and women's physique. You know, if I can pull her up, let me pull her up. Let me put this lady first. First, she was a Russian lady who won. If I can find her, let's see. It's gonna take a time here. Wait a minute. I gotta go through. But yeah, it's just the point where you know it should be total, different looks or
Yes.
different, you know, it's just a big debate. Wait a minute, I got her here now. There she is.
And should it
Pull,
really be a debate? No.
but the thing is, no one's, the judges are not, following the guidelines like they're supposed to, and set and say, okay, we'll set this as the condition. We will set this as the criteria. You are physique. You should win in your division. You're a bodybuilder. You should win in division. If you shouldn't have to go back and forth to see if it's a way to get your pro card. I'm gonna pull her up. This is Natalia Bastrova. I just did one of my comparison videos about her. I've talked about it before. I did a comparison with her a while back with Sherry Priyami, and I did one just recently with let me pull it up here. There it is. She earned a pro card in women's bodybuilding and physique at the Romanian Muscle Fest last year. This lady is 55 years old. Her body, I mean, I'm just astonished by her physique. She astonishes me. And she took fourth at the Romanian Muscle Fest, you know. And
What's her name
you,
again? Linda, what?
Natalia Bastrova.
Natalia. Oh,
Yeah, Natalia Bastrova.
And how old is she?
I think she's 55, about to be 56.
mm.
And I talked,
Go ahead.
yeah, I talked about before. Like, she was double dipping. She won both her pro card and both wins bodybuilding and physique. And she's made her pro debut in physique. And like I said again, this is where if the judges are awarding somebody who looks more closer to one division than to the other, then why are they not following their own rules they set?
Exactly, because and on top of that, then you're taking a pro card away from somebody else. So if she wins both and gets, it's like, uh you only need one pro card, because what the people don't understand is once you have a pro card and you apply for one, you can, like, so I'm an open bodybuilder. If I decided to diet down from 270 to 220 and says I want to try classic physique, or I want to try physique, I can do whatever I want as a pro bodybuilder. I don't have to stay in the class that my body may have changed. I may have changed my mind. Once you're a pro, you can go and jump into any division that you want. And so why give her a pro card in both classes? Because then you're taking something away from somebody else. The one thing I can say, in the 15 years I've been a pro and 20 something years of being a competitor, I've never seen a rule book. I've never seen a rule book. Like, in NFL, we knew the rules. Track and field, we knew the rules. There's guidelines. The USOC has guidelines of certain things that we can take and that we can't take. The NFL has certain rules to things that we can do and we can't do, and penalties are penalties, et cetera, et cetera. NBA, MLB. I've never seen a handbook or anything of such magnitude for a sport, and that's where the confusion lies. Because when I'm looking at, like, me and Tina had this debate a long time ago at a show I was judging, and it was a girl, black girl, was bikini. And this is when wellness wasn't around. And she was church shepherding in my ear, like, how do you guys put her in first place when she looks more like a figure competitor? Well, here lies the problem. She could have been a figure competitor, but wasn't hard enough to be a figure competitor, had the athletic look of a bikini girl, but just wasn't there. Now, wellness, boom, she would have been a wellness girl, boom, easily. But that, like, the debate with, even me and Tina and some of the judges, which we all put her in first place because her athletic, she was hard in bikini. If she would have went in the figure, I don't think that she would have did as well, just because she wasn't as hard and her shoulders weren't as round and developed as a figure girl should be. So these are the problems that you start having with judges and people, because certain people think they know what they're looking at, and certain people know what they're looking at, and that lies the problem. But here lies the issue, George. There's a money thing involved in this, because if you're a promoter, are you going to turn down a way, let's say 3, 6, 900, $1,200 for a competitor that wants to do masters and do open and women's physique and women's bodybuilding? That's a great. I mean, that's what's going on. Is that they're like saying you got to pick one or the other. I understand doing like masters open, masters women's physique, and then masters open physique. But there's no way you should do masters open physique, masters women's physique, and then do double dip like you said in the same as in bodybuilding. It's no way, and not win them all anyway. And that's what Mama Muscle, she'll contest to that if she was on here. That's what happens to her all the time when she goes to Gary shows. Is that you got these girls crossing over and winning both? It's like either a bodybuilder or you women's physique competitor. If you get your pro card another and you say, you know what, like Jada said, hey, women's bodybuilding wasn't for me, so I went back over to women's physique. Isn't that what she said? So she went back because she said it was too hard on her body. Well, we have that option as when you're a pro, you have that option. So it's not like you're stuck in that category. And that's what these people have to understand. Once you get that pro card, you're not stuck in that category. I watched a guy when I did the Tampa Pro one year, and we all looked at him like he was crazy. Black guy, I can't remember his name. He went and did men's physique, and we're like, dude, you're a bodybuilder. You're never going to be able to pull this off. And he was dead last, of course, but he wanted to do men's physique, but he was too big. So that would happen, and the judges clearly, was like, dude, you're not. You can maybe go to 212. Classic physique. I don't even think was around then when I first started competing, but you're not a physique guy. So that's what the judges need to do, and they're not doing that, and it's causing mass confusion amongst viewers, and it's causing mass confusion amongst competitors. And part of the problem is women's physique competitors have, we talked about taboos a couple weeks ago about how people, don't talk about the sport. It's like women's physique girls, for some reason, think it's taboo to go over into women's bodybuilding. Like if it's not sexy enough, or they're like women bodybuilders are not pretty enough. And like I would always say, look at the champion. She is absolutely gorgeous. So what the fuck are we talking about? I said she is the queen of the mountain. She's beautiful. She's eloquent and everything else. Her presentation, her body, everything. Hey, George, I just got a package in the mail from her this weekend, by the way. I- she sent me some treats. She sent me some treats. And I looked, I said, who's this box at my door from? And of course, on the box it says Andrea Shaw. I said, oh boy, I got to tell my big bro.
You, we have. She see. That's okay.
Yo, Keith, why she don't come over to George and talk with George or something, man? Why she fronting, man? Ask her that, man.
I'll see her at the end of the. I'll see her at the end of May when I go out to John show. I'll ask her, what to give you. Well, like when we did the thing on her birthday, she was traveling. She was
Yeah.
traveling out of country, so she was like, I really wanted to do, but I was traveling out of country. And Angie's a busy girl. Last time, every time I'm in Detroit, she's not like sitting idle. She's training a ton of people. She's training a lot of clients, and her and John are pretty busy out there. So I mean, she's all over the place.
Yeah,
So
and
good for her.
see, like they, Keith. I understand she's a busy lady. I'm not gonna gripe, but like I said, I tell you again, don't touch her. I want you. I want to understand. All right, don't touch her. You can get a fifth pound. You can wave hello. Don't touch her. I don't have no problem with
I said,
that.
hey, KO, I said, oh, I gotta get him today. I said, I got a package at my door with her name on it.
Yeah,
I said,
but the thing is like this: these women know that, especially you have like good examples like Sherry Piami. That's a good example. She started out in figure early in her career, but she switched over to physique, and then she really started to evolve. If you might follow Sherry, you've seen her
yep,
the last
yeah,
few months. She's really has put on some size. She's really her conditioning is just like I said. She is a mom, and she has 3 kids. Her son just her son just went to his prom. She posted on her IG, and I think one thing is also women who are that over 40 and they have kids. Their bodies are different from the girls who are a lot younger who never had children. Um,
elasticity from the babies,
yeah,
all the stuff. Yep,
it changed. I think the one lady who was competing at the show, St. Louis, Virginia, her, I think her. There was only 3 ladies in that group who had kids. That's her, Marika, and another lady. And you can really see, especially with the chick Virginia, she was trying to do. She did her abdominal thigh kind of sideways.
yep,
She was in the center at the show, but then they moved her over.
yep.
And Marika, like I said, her Marika looks amazing. And I was just talking about her before we came on. We're gonna pull up some I'll go back to Marika's IG. Marika, she's really has evolved ever since she made her debut. And this is where the debate where I remember in the interview, I think she even talked to Andrea about it, about maybe moving over to women's bodybuilding. She could, because this is her right here, Marika, who just won at the St. Louis Pro. And her delts, look at her shoulders. She's not as tapered in the
Condition.
center. Yeah, but she really has put on some size since she made her pro debut last year. You
Yeah,
know, I'm gonna go through here, and like here, I think right here, this is her daughter here. Let me see. She really has. I think this is from. Let me see. When she competed last year, I think this is posted. This is the picture she posted. I think this was from 2023 till March of 2024. And Keith, your eyes are a little bit better than mine, but you can really see how much she has evolved
oh yeah,
since. Yeah, you really see the size, especially on the lats. Her back got a lot wider. I think she's a little bit. I think she said she's 5'5", and she's about the same height as I think Andrea. Ain't Andrea like 5'3", 5'4",
yeah. 5'5", five
5'5".
five. Yeah, 5'5".
Yeah, And this is from when she was doing an interview with Antitone. I suppose this while ago. It was just this. I look at this picture, and she was giving me some Andrea Margie Martin vibes, especially if you look at around her shoulders, how she looked. She's very aesthetically pleasing. I think
Yeah.
she would probably do good in women's bodybuilding if she decided to move over. You know, her condition looks pretty good, especially being a
Now
mom.
that was women's that she's women's physique.
Yeah, where's Physique? Because she was right here. She was right here. Then they moved her out with the other lady who was in the center. You know,
Really?
and
Who won?
Marika won, the one right here in
Okay.
the pink. She won because when they did the prejudging, because they don't do a live stream for their shows.
Yep.
So to do the prejudging, you have to you know try to find like if you're a Bobby Chapman, they ask if anybody's gonna post any videos or any pics, and someone post on the NPC News Online, other people post on the site, some people take their own videos with the show. We got to hear
Yep.
from Benjamin Schultz. He says, Margie Martin, most muscular woman. Yeah. Well, also we got our man Raheem Hamilton says, I don't know, Natalia is way sexy. That's I think he's thinking the other Natalia. But I think he might be thinking that Natalia. He spelled it different,
Are you
but
talking about the? Are you talking? Is he talking about the
Big
New York Pro
titty, the
champ?
big titty woman.
The New York Pro champ, current.
Yeah,
he might have been talking about the lady who's the other Russian lady who's 50, because they're both Russians. He might be talking about her, the one I just had earlier when I showed
yeah.
one both her. Talk about her too.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I know. Yeah, but you know, it's like it's getting to that point. Like the New York Post coming up.
Yep.
That's in about the end of the month, and competing at that show. That's Ashley
Jones.
Jones' debut, and also competing with her is Lavinia Barros from Brazil. Now I took this picture. I made this. You have Natalia, you got Ashley, you got Lavinia. And this was Ashley from when she competed at the Olympia back in 2022. This is Lavinia when she competed at the Romanian show last year, and this is Natalia who competed at the Atlantic Coast show. Not much of a difference, you would say, except for with Lavinia, she's bigger in the quads and the calves.
Um, I can tell you right now, there is no comparison. I don't know. I've seen pictures of Ashley Jones, and her quads are ridiculous. Her back is ridiculous. She has a great look about her, and I really don't see how either one of these girls can compete with her. To be honest, at the New York Pro. And if she brings, and here's lies the deal. If she can bring in the conditioning in the package, she will win this show. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Yeah,
If
I think she.
Natalia's off by a little bit, she will win this show. You guys
Yeah,
mark my words. I'm telling you right now on this live podcast that she is the girl that everybody better be watching, because she's the girl that can knock all these girls out with her aesthetics, with her size, because she already had the size. That's why she's moving. And in my opinion, that's why Andrea told her to move over to women's bodybuilding, because she has all the things that, even the girl who's been placing second to Andrea, Andrea is a very encouraging person to these girls, and sitting there saying, come on over here. This is, I hate to say that this is a dying class, but it somewhat is, and it needs more fresh meat coming over. And if I'm a physique girl, and we've said this before, if I'm a physique girl and there's 50 girls in women's physique that are pros, and I know there's a lot more women bodybuilders, but there's like 15 girls. All right, well, let's go. I'll take a step back. How many girls competed in women's physique at the Olympia last year?
at least about 17, 18, I believe.
17 or 18. And then we
Yeah,
had women's bodybuilding. We had what, 9,
10.
10. So if I am going to go somewhere where I'm on the, like, we'll call that gray area we've been talking about, and I'm going that gray area and I'm on the fence, and I'm on the fence, I'm going to jump over to women's bodybuilding and just see. And I think that's what Ashley and a couple of these other girls are doing, just because they're like, I may fare better over here. Again, Maya, she loses, she comes in dead last at the Louisiana show and comes into, I keep getting it wrong. I know it's either the New York Pro or the
New York.
Tampa Pro. New
It
York.
was, New York in
In
Tampa, because you
Tampa.
remember,
And
yeah, it was New
came
York
in
and
and
Tampa.
won the show. So again, she rolled her dice and she's done very well since that, right? Boswell came over from Women's Physique, and Boswell has done well too. Now, those are two girls that I would say, if they could nail their conditioning because of their athletic look and their aesthetics, would 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 place in the top 5 at the Olympia, just based off of pure aesthetics and pure, there, because they have the size. If they can just bring it, and me and John talked about this at the Worlds. Maya, if she can get harder from the back, man, she has all the right tools to be in that top 3 spot. Now there's some girls coming back, like who's in the
Well, I think one lady who I believe is coming back for this show. She's been working with the current champion, the former 10-time champion, Irish Cadillacs, Lavinia, Arsenio Bottles. Arsenio's from Brazil. Everybody know of her, and she's been
yeah.
working with Iris. If you follow social media, and she's third. She was third at the show. She did have an injury last year, the end of last year, and they've been working together. And she